let's talk about Crossroads for soprano, oboe, and strings. This is the piece that hopefully you'll be hearing if you go to the Saint Paul Chamber Orchestra concert. And I had the pleasure to sit in on rehearsal today and hear a little bit of it. Absolutely lovely and stunning, and I'm fascinated with so many things about it that I think will fascinate you as well when you hear it. First of all, pairing soprano and oboe is just shockingly gorgeous. How their timbres together are gorgeous. Can you talk about choosing that pairing?
Well, that's a Bach cantata pairing. I mean, there are so many soprano and oboe arias that I know, and I'm quite willing to risk that company because I've paid my dues so many Sundays, gotten up awfully early to do a cantata.
Sure.
At Emmanuel Church, Boston. But beyond that, it's a piece. Well, let's just say Louise Glick has said to me directly, my subject now is getting older. And what's it like? She said, I'll spend the rest of my poetic life just embodying that subject. I said, okay, I'm with you. And that's what's striking about the book, The Village Life, from this come from. Both the tone of it, which was more forgiving and more accepting than a lot of her other poetry, but also wanting to deal with this subject, and that's what this particular piece is about. And rather shocking, I think, the way she approaches it in the last poem, the one called Crossroads, which I think is one of her very best poems. The subject being, she starts out saying, my body, now that we will not be traveling together, and that in the next world that she will miss most her physical body. This is a hard subject, and it could be done, I think, much more harshly than she decides to do it. But it still seems to me a worthwhile and brave kind of poem. So that's really what attracted me to this piece. The big prelude poem is much more of a narrative, but it's really the same subject, letting go, the difficulty of letting go. And Louise has always been a quite fearless poet, and I expect to be with her not for the last time in this. It's also a piece. I think I'm writing pieces now at a very 3/4 of a century point, where I'm not interested really in impressing anybody. I'm sort of past. I'm just going to write the piece and see what happens, and that separates me a little bit from the people I teach every summer at Tanglewood, who are at a time of life when they have to impress people.
Yes.
And I don't, it's not that I don't empathize with that, but I have not a single impulse in my head in that direction anymore. I mean, just, if it's not, if it doesn't come at you, there's nothing I can do.